viewers, what we're looking at today is my mid-2011 21.5-inch iMac that I've been using as my daily use system for a few months now, almost several months going up into that mark, and I still have not regretted my decision to trade that AMD 6-core custom computer for this iMac. In fact, I think it was a wise decision, and I have absolutely loved this computer ever since I've gotten it. I think it was pretty smart of me to have gotten this computer because it definitely has helped increase my workflow, and it can definitely keep up with my video editing demands for the most part. I fear that macOS 10.13 is probably going to wreck something of performance, but it's a Sandy Bridge i5 quad-core with a decent high clock speed, so I don't know. I guess I'll find out. So, yeah, I just recently reinstalled pretty much all of my Macintosh software that I use on a daily basis. And so I think I'm pretty much ready to go at this point, although I'm going to probably do myself a favor and I'm going to take out the macOS Mail app if it'll let me remove it. There we go, because I have Outlook right here. But yeah, now this machine's not going to get replaced. If it gets replaced, I'm going to replace it with a newer model iMac. But I have some new all-in-one computers that I'd like you guys to take a look at, because I think they're actually really cool. And yeah, I'll tell you guys the story, thanks to the magic of video editing once I get everything all set up, and vice versa, and Wazza Wazza Bing Bang. All the transition words. So here they are. These are two HP Pavilion 23 B320 all-in-one computers from approximately 2013, early 2013. These both are AMD powered units, and they're both not touchscreens. They're both not anything really to scream home about. They're just basic all-in-one home computers. As a matter of fact, these both came alongside my Panasonic Toughbook when I was making the deal. As a matter of fact, I just traded my little red 17-inch, yeah, that was an oxymoron. If you're talking about computers, that's an oxymoron. But my 17-inch red HP laptop that I didn't ever really use too much. And I got both these all-in-ones and the Panasonic Toughbook, all in the trade for that one machine, which was weird because one of these all-in-ones by themselves are worth the price of that red HP laptop. You know, they're all worth approximately the same thing. So I essentially got nearly $1,000 worth of hardware just for that one $300 17-inch laptop. So I don't know why I got the deal that I did, but I'm not complaining. But we've already taken a look at the Panasonic Toughbook. It's a real treat, but it'll get its own series of videos later. For now, we're going to talk about these all-in-ones. Now, were not without their flaws, and I only have one power supply, which is kind of weird, but you get used to it. But they both work. I've tried both of them with the one power supply I do have, and they both function, but they weren't without their quirks. And, you know, password galore on one of them, and I think, what the heck was it? I think this one had a bad hard drive, so it wouldn't boot or do anything related, so I had to swap the hard drive. I still have the hard drive, but I'm going to do HDAT2 on that hard drive another day. This one had a power on password, but it was just in the BIOS, so I was able to clear that by clearing the CMOS, so I was able to get this one up and running. This one has a minor nick in the panel, but it still works just fine. There's no damage to the panel, otherwise it's just on the polarizer. This one's just smudged up and dirty. But like I said, yes, they both work, and they're both fully functional now that I've replaced the hard drive on the one and cleared out the power on password on the other. And we can take a look at the back of these. They're both marked up, but nothing that a little bit of alcohol and a lot of scrubbing can't clean. There, we can turn on the light and we can take a look at this label here. So like I said, these are Pavilion 23 B320 models from early 2013. And here's a little bit of an idea as to how many marks are on these machines. They're not too bad, they're just pretty much cosmetics, and I think they'll clean up. I've had to disassemble both of these units, but they're really not that hard. All I have to do is just take out one, two, three, four, 5 screws, and then the rest is just held in by plastic snaps. And as long as you don't snap them, then you'll have quick and easy access to the motherboard, which is literally right here. And the hard drive and optical drive literally sit in different areas. And you can also see the speaker chambers and so on and so forth. And these things are pretty simplistic in their design. There's really nothing too fancy about them. And I just noticed that we didn't quite snap in all the plastic snaps on this one. Whoops. Whatever. That's okay. I'll fix that after this little intro thing here before we take a look at both computers. Now this one's going to my friend because he's well, I gave it to him just because I wanted him to have it because he came along with me on the trip. And he's already kind of started working his way off on getting this machine, which he doesn't have to. I'm just giving it to him because of the graciousness of my own heart, because I'm a giving person like that. But, you know, he just felt the need to kind of work it off. And you know what? That's okay. He has every right to. Now, being that these are from 2013, they're designed for Windows 8. And in fact, my unit, which is this one, was running Windows 8.0 as its original OS, which I thought was rather interesting. But considering when these machines were made, that was pretty good OS-ish. But let me tell you guys, it wasn't exactly easy to get Windows 8.1 on there. Oh my god. When you have a data cap internet like we do, it's not exactly the easiest thing to actually get, you know, stuff going. But that's okay. I got 8.1 on there eventually. Got the April update on it as well, which was slipstreamed into the ISO, which was rather nice. And I also have a surprise for you guys when I boot it up here in a little bit. But we're going to take a look at my friend's unit here first, which has the NIC in the panel. And I'm going to go grab a USB keyboard and mouse because there is no PS2 on a machine this new. And we'll go ahead and we'll boot up my friend's unit first because I think it's, well, it's interesting, but it's not as interesting as mine, which has all the original HP software on it because the hard drive's good. So let me go grab some cables and I'll be right back. Before we get into that video though, about that, I'd like to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a minor update here on the Panasonic Toughbook. I actually got bored one night and I felt the need to dink around with some software on it. So I grabbed a USB stick and I loaded the Windows 10 Creators Update on a USB, and for some reason it feels the need to turn itself on when I open the lid when I shut it off. I'm not entirely sure what's up with that, but it appears to have some kind of a smooth BIOS transition or something. I don't know what that's all about. Something to do with the hibernation feature that Windows 7 had or whatever, I don't really know. But as you can see, it does boot up into Windows 10 with the Creators Update in a rather quick amount of time. And I still only have 2 gigabytes of RAM in this system. And I have to tell you guys, I'm rather impressed by the performance of this computer on Windows 10. It actually runs really well. I figured the 2 gigabytes of memory was going to be a problem. Oh yeah, it was on standby. I figured the 2 gigabytes of memory was going to be a huge problem with this computer because Windows 10 doesn't exactly run pleasantly on 2 gigabytes of memory, but this system doesn't seem to run it half bad. It's probably because it has a fairly high-end Core 2 Duo for a laptop, so, you know, I guess it's not too terribly bad. It definitely does compress memory though. There's no doubt about it. You're just going to have to deal with that sort of thing. But it's also activated. I also managed to get a free copy of Windows 10 Pro out of pure luck by upgrading this thing from Windows 7 Pro to Windows 10 Pro. I don't know how I managed to do it. I don't know if it's because of the fact that, if I unmute the speakers here, I have a feature set to where when I press numlock, caps lock, or scroll lock, it makes a loud beep. I don't know if that triggered an activation because of the accessibility settings or what the deal might possibly be, or if the activation servers are just still somehow online for Windows 7 or 8.1 keys, and I just got a free copy of Windows 10 Pro, so hey, that's pretty good. So this machine's now, if I don't jumble my words too much, this machine is now on Windows 10, and it's going to stay on Windows 10. So I might get a clean installation of Windows 10 on here, so that way I don't have to deal with all the old Windows 7 crap, but no, it's running Windows 10, and it doesn't run it half bad, like I said. I mean, it runs decently, so. Anyway, enough of my rambling. On to the subject of this video, which is the all-in-ones. So, we got the first Pavilion 23 hooked up, and I just want to give you guys a little point of reference. These machines are so energy efficient that these things can literally just run off of a slightly bigger than an HP laptop of the time period power supply. This is a 90-watt adapter, so it's a little bit bigger, and the jack's a little bit wider of a diameter. But there you go. There's a little power light that usually comes on, so I'm not entirely sure if it's receiving power, because that power supply can... I don't know if it's the power supply or if it's this particular unit that has a faulty jack. I'm not entirely sure. Well, let's see if it'll power up here. Well, apparently it does not have power. That power supply is a little goofy. That or it's the outlet here in the kitchen that I'm using. We tend to have a flaky breaker when it comes to our kitchen outlets. Yeah, now it's got power. So it tends to act a little flaky. So let's try it again. There you go, now I can hear the hard drive. This has a loud hard drive in it. I replaced it with a Samsung SpinRite 500 gig. And it has the loudest freaking read-write head of any modern hard drive I've heard. It's ridiculously loud. But it's a good hard drive, so I decided to stick it in and use this, you know, use this hard drive with this machine, because I didn't have any other ones really of any bigger capacity. So yeah, that's okay though. So this one's running Windows 8.1 Pro, because that's what I had for a license lying around. So just give me a second, let me put in his password. Yes, I know his password, but he allowed me to work on this computer for him, so anyway. So here we go. This is all of his Windows 8.1 stuff. He won't really care if I show it, because really there's no personal files yet on this machine. It's just his Windows 8.1 settings from when he first bought his Toshiba satellite laptop that he still uses to this day using Windows 10. So this is the very same start menu, start screen layout, bleh, if I get it right. So both of these machines are powered by identical specifications, so if I show one, you're gonna know that's the same for both of them. So it's running on an AMD E2 2000 APU with Radeon HD graphics at 1 3/4 gigahertz for some odd reason. That's kind of an odd amount. Has 6 gigs of RAM and a 500 gig hard drive. They both have 500 gigs, but this one's my Samsung spin point out of my HP Pavilion A6500F, which I didn't really care if he used, because I was thinking about taking the hard drive out of the A6803W I have, and I was going to put it in the A6500F because I want a faster Windows 10 machine, because it's powered by a 3.33 gigahertz Core 2 Duo versus a 2.5 gigahertz AMD Athlon 64X2. So Windows 10 would definitely improve on the performance quite a bit if I were to swap users, or swap computers like that. They're virtually the same machine in either way. So this machine don't run half bad on Windows 8 because it is its launch OS, so it runs rather smoothly. Okay, that's just a driver. So yeah, so there's that unit. It does have wireless built into it, which it should for a machine like this, you know, this new of this caliber. And I suppose we'll also open up the camera, even though I'm really not looking that fancy today. I guess I pressed enter on camera. I really... anyway, I don't even know if it has the camera installed. Oh, it does. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's my ugly face, my ugly situation. That's why my knees hurt. But there we go. There's this unit. There's nothing too exciting about it because it's running Windows 8.1, a clean installation. So I think for now, let's go and plug in the other unit, and we'll take a look at it. Cable management at its finest. Well, that's how you know I'm cheaper by the dozen when it comes to these computer videos. Anyway, let's go ahead and power this machine on. This has its original Seagate 500 gig drive, and yeah, failure prone or not, it still works, so I'm going to keep on using it. I might upgrade this to a low capacity SSD someday. Same thing over there with the Panasonic Toughbook. I'm not entirely sure. I think everything needs SSDs, including my Pavilion A1477C, but it'll get its SSD someday because I'm not too worried about putting an SSD in a Windows XP computer, even though it would drastically help out with the performance. But it's only a DDR400 computer, so I'm probably going to wait to get a DDR2 XP machine, which those are extremely rare. Well, one that has a PCI Express slot, because I actually own a Windows XP era computer with the DDR2 memory subsystem, but the only expansion bus it has is PCI, which is stupid, so whatever. Anyway, mine has the proper UEFI setup, so yeah. Also, that hard drive is a hell of a lot quieter. But yeah, this one I actually also did a surprise Windows 10 upgrade, and it also actually surprisingly activated. So now this machine has a permanent Windows 10 Home license on it, not Pro, but Home, because it was running Windows 8 when it was new, obviously, not 8.0 Pro or something like that. But nope, it's got full Windows 10 with the Creators Update, and I decided I'm just going to leave it on here because why the heck not? But something's up with the fast startup. I have no idea why, but it just doesn't work quite right, so it just always does a full startup, which doesn't take too terribly long for the specs of this machine. It's just kind of weird that it doesn't do a fast startup like it should. It's probably something driver related or software related, I have no idea. But I figured before I format anything, I might as well show you guys all the original HP programs and, you know, just show you guys overall how the machine performs and looks on Windows 10 with all the HP bloat on there. So I need to type in my PIN real quick. Oops, might help if I was looking at the keyboard. Maybe. So, of course, like the other one, this has built-in Wi-Fi. They're literally exactly the same units. It's just this one's running Windows 10. And I would have left it on 8.1 had it not activated, because 8.1 actually runs a little better than Windows 10 on this machine, but it's not too much slower. Because, again, this one, I don't know what's up with the fast startup, but it just doesn't appear like it wants to work. So, I don't know what's up with that, but it's whatever. So, This one has all the original HP drivers and whatnot on there. So you can see the little DTS Plus control panel icon sitting right next to the Wi-Fi and Mega storage sort of things on the system tray. And let's see here. Gotta move my mouse over here to this PC and properties. And we'll take a look at the specs here. Again, exactly the same specifications. It's just the one's running Windows 10 Home and it's activated. So, yeah. Not a whole lot on this machine in terms of applications. I just have it installed with Windows 10 at the moment and maybe a few applications. Nothing too fancy. Yeah. So, there's not a whole lot for these machines. Yeah, I know my MegaSync can't connect. That's fine. I don't know what I could use to sample music with this computer without blowing any copyright out of the water. I'm not entirely sure. Huh. Well, the speakers are okay. They're not the greatest, but they sound okay. They're not anything to write home about. But, you're okay. That's about all I can really say. So, with that having been said, I don't know what I'm going to do with my particular unit, because I know that one's going to go to my friend, because he, wants an all-in-one machine to just watch YouTube and do other basic tasks with, and that one will certainly fit the bill for him. But for mine, I think I'm going to put it out in the office as my office PC, and I actually thought about moving the XW6600 workstation and put it someplace else in my workshop, but that'll make this the main little office, internet browsing PC, that sort of thing. But, time will only tell. I don't know what I'm going to do. So in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching the video on these two HP Pavilion 23 B320 all-in-one computers. And I'll see you guys later, I guess.